Hello students, welcome to this particular session. In this session, we'll be dealing with some theoretical concepts, right? We'll discuss about dielectrics, then we'll discuss polar dielectrics, non-polar dielectrics. And students, in order to understand those topics, we need to be aware of polar atoms, non-polar atoms, the difference between them. So anyway, let's start with substances and their categorization based on conductivity, right? So basically, the substances can be categorized into conductors, insulators, semiconductors, and dielectrics. Insulators, you are aware, they do not possess any charge carriers and hence do not conduct electricity, do not allow the passage of electrons through it, isn't it? They have scarcity of free charge carriers. Conductors, on the other hand, they have got large number of free charge carriers, which are electrons, which conducts electricity. Semiconductors, its conductivity lies between that of insulators and conductors. Its conductivity is greater than insulators but less than conductors. Now comes dielectrics. Dielectric students, they are essentially insulators. But when they are under the influence of some external field, then what happens is the charges get induced. Equal and opposite charges get induced on its two faces, on its opposite faces, right? And hence, due to polarization, it starts conducting. So that is what those substances are known as dielectrics. So dielectrics, under normal scenario, they are insulators but can get polarized under the influence of external electric field. Now polarized, electric polarization, that we'll discuss in detail in this session only, right? So dielectrics are those substances which under normal circumstances are insulators only, but under the influence of external applied field, induced charges get developed on its two faces, right? There are numerous examples of dielectrics: air, water, glass, rubber, plastic, wood. These all are examples of dielectrics. So students, you must be clear of this term, dielectrics. Now let's deal with polar and non-polar dielectrics. So dielectrics containing polar atoms are known as polar dielectrics, while on the other hand dielectrics which are composed of non-polar atoms are known as non-polar dielectrics. So, in order to understand this, you need to consider polar and non-polar atoms, right? You need to consider polar and non-polar atoms. We are aware, an atom is composed of a central positive core, which is known as nucleus, surrounded by a cloud of electrons. In a normal atom, the net charge is zero. That is, a normal atom is always electrically neutral, right? So, in an atom, two cases arises. Either the charge can be distributed symmetrically, or the charge in an atom can be distributed asymmetrically. So, accordingly, there are two classifications: polar and non-polar atoms. Now look, non-polar atoms. In this case, what happens is the charge is distributed symmetrically. It has got symmetrical charge distribution. It has got symmetrical charge distribution. What I mean to say is that in this case, the center of gravity of the positive charge and the center of gravity of the negative charge. Center of gravity of positive charge means nucleus, which is composed of positive charge only due to the protons. This is the center of gravity of the positive charge. And due to the symmetric charge distribution, the center of gravity of the negative charge also is at the same point. So what I mean to say is that the center of gravity of positive charge and the center of gravity of the negative charge both coincides. So what is the separation between the positive charge and the negative charge? Zero. Now we are aware dipole moment, it's given by magnitude of either of the charge multiplied by distance between them. So here, because of the fact that the center of gravity of the positive charge and the center of the negative charge, center of gravity of the negative charge coincides, therefore net dipole moment of such atom is 0. This is the most important point. So students, non-polar atoms are those atoms which possess 0 dipole moment. Why it possesses 0 dipole moment? Because the center of gravity of the positive charge and the center of gravity of the negative charge coincides due to the symmetrical charge distribution. So that's the key. While on the other hand, polar atoms, these are the atoms which have asymmetrical charge distribution. They have asymmetrical charge distribution. It has got asymmetrical charge distribution. So, in this case what happens is, the center of gravity of the positive charge and the center of gravity of the negative charge do not coincide. Suppose this is the center of gravity of the positive charge and the electron concentration is more towards the right hand side, so its center of gravity of the negative charge will be somewhere over here. But the atom is electrically neutral, so net positive charge will be equal to net negative charge. But the difference between these two lies in the fact that here both were coinciding, but here there exists a finite separation between these two equal and opposite charges, which is obviously constituting a dipole. So it will possess a net dipole moment. So such atoms, due to asymmetrical charge distribution, possess a net dipole moment. In this case, it will possess some finite value. It will possess some finite value. It won't be equal to 0. So I hope students you must be very clear about non-polar and polar atoms. Polar atoms are those atoms which possess some non-zero finite value of dipole moment. They possess some dipole moment because of the fact that the center of gravity of the positive charge and the center of the gravity of the negative charge of an atom do not coincide. Why they do not coincide? Because of asymmetrical charge distribution. Right? So there are various examples of non-polar atoms. Examples are H2, N2, O2. These all are examples of, then CO2. These all are examples of non-polar atoms where it do not possess any dipole moment. Right? But on the other hand, examples of polar atoms. Examples of polar atoms are HCl, CO, H2O. These all are the examples of polar atoms which possess some finite non-zero value of dipole moment. Right? And as I told you, dielectrics which are made up of or which possess polar atoms are known as polar dielectrics, and dielectrics which are composed of non-polar atoms are known as non-polar dielectrics. Right? Now what we will discuss is the phenomenon of electric polarization. Now what will happen when this non-polar atom is placed under the influence of some external field? Let's see. So suppose this is the first case. This is a non-polar atom. This is a non-polar atom. As I stated, in this case there is symmetric charge distribution and the center of gravity of the positive and negative charge coincides. So no electric field is applied over here. No electric field is applied over here. Now if some field is applied, if some electric field is applied, what will happen is the positive charge, it will experience an electric force along the direction of the applied field, while the negative charge under the influence of this electric field will experience same force but in the opposite direction. So positive charge, it will experience force towards the direction of the electric field. Negative charge, it will experience force in a direction opposite to that of the electric field. So students, what will happen? When this non-polar atom is under the influence of this applied field, the stretching of the atom will take place. The stretching, the atom will get stressed. So the diagram can be redrawn like this. So this is the positive charge. It will experience force Q E naught. It is being positive, so it will experience electric force along the direction of the applied field. Negative charge, it will experience the same force, but because of its negative nature, it will experience the same force but in the opposite direction. So due to this electric force, the stretching of the atom will take place. Now what is happening is, earlier these two charges were coincident. Their CG were on the same point. Now, because of the finite separation between these two, an electric dipole moment is developed. So here, dipole moment was 0 initially, but here it is non-zero. It has developed some dipole moment. So students, one thing more to be noted down. How far the stretching can continue? Till equilibrium is attained. And when that equilibrium stage will be attained? When the electric force experienced by the charges due to the external field becomes equal to the restoring force. Restoring force, students, you all are aware. Restoring means the force which tends to restore the original position of the electron cloud with respect to the nucleus. So when these two forces becomes equal and opposite, then equilibrium stage is obtained. Right? So this phenomena is known as electric polarization. This phenomenon is known as electric polarization. So, what do you mean by electric polarization? It is the phenomena in which when a non-polar atom is placed under the influence of external electric field, then the atom becomes polarized due to the stretching of the atom. And this stretching of atom continues till the electric force experienced by the charges under the influence of this electric field becomes equal and opposite to the restoring force. Clear? So this phenomena is known as electric polarization. Right? So, one more topic related to this is dielectric strength. Dielectric strength. It is related to the above topic only. Now look, if the strength of this applied field is gradually increased, so more and more stretching will take place. What will happen eventually if the strength of the field keeps on increasing? Eventually, ultimately, the electron comes out of the atom. So as a result, it will behave as a free electron and residual atom will behave as an ion, isn't it? So free electron means it will start behaving as a conductor, isn't it? So what I mean to say is that this atom can tolerate a maximum electric field before it is subjected to electric breakdown. So the maximum electric field which this atom can tolerate without its electric breakdown, that is known as dielectric strength. I repeat, students, if the strength of the electric field is gradually increased, a stage will come when the electric force experienced by the charge under the influence of this field will overcome the restoring force, and hence the electrons will break free from the atom. So such a situation is known as electric breakdown. So the maximum electric field which this atom can tolerate without its electric breakdown, that is known as its dielectric strength. So students, can you tell me the SI unit of dielectric strength? Concentrate on its definition. Dielectric strength is the maximum electric field. It is the electric field. So obviously, its SI unit must be same as that of an electric field, which is Newton per coulomb or volt per meter. Right? So it is Newton per coulomb or volt per meter. So students, I hope these topics are pretty clear to you all. Right? Again I repeat, whatever we have discussed, let's recapitulate those topics. We have discussed regarding conductors, insulators, semiconductors and dielectrics. Dielectrics are, under normal circumstances, they behave as insulators. These are those substances which, under the influence of electric field, induced opposite charges are established or produced on its opposite faces due to polarization. That is, they get polarized under the influence of external field. Such substances are known as dielectrics. And dielectrics, there are a large number of examples of dielectrics as always stated. Water, air, rubber, plastic, wood, these all are examples of dielectrics, right? And dielectrics having polar atoms are known as polar dielectrics. Dielectrics composed of non-polar atoms are known as non-polar dielectrics, right? So, we have discussed then polar atoms, non-polar atoms. As the term suggests, polar atoms means having some net dipole moment. Net dipole moment means they must have asymmetric charge distribution. It is only then the Cg of positive charge and the Cg of negative charge will be separated by a finite separation. On the other hand, non-polar atoms means, non-polar means do not possess any net dipole moment. And it is possible only when the center of gravity of the positive charge and the center of gravity or negative charge of the atom coincides due to symmetric charge distribution. Examples we have already discussed. And then we have discussed what happens when this non-polar atom is under the influence of external electric field. As it is made under the influence of external field, what happens? The Cg of the positive charge, it will definitely experience a force along the direction of the electric field, right? And the Cg of the negative charge due to the electrons, it will experience the same force but in the opposite direction. So, as a result, what happens is stretching of the atom will take place. And this stretching of the atom continues till the electric force experienced by the charges balances the restoring force. What is restoring force? The restoring force tends to bring the electron cloud back to its original position with respect to the nucleus. So, this is at the equilibrium stage. So, this phenomenon is known as electric polarization. Then we have discussed dielectric strength. Students, it is the maximum electric field which an atom can tolerate without its electric breakdown. If the electric field is gradually increased, its strength is gradually increased, it will keep on stretching more and more. A time will come when the electric force experienced by the charged particle overcomes the restoring force. In that case, the electrons will break free from the atoms. So that is when electric breakdown will take place. So the maximum electric field which this atom can tolerate without its electric breakdown, that is known as dielectric strength. So it is a physical quantity which must be having the same unit as that of electric field, that is Newton per coulomb or volt per meter. So students, in this session, these are the topics which we have discussed. In the next session, we will discuss some more theoretical terms and definitions related to this one. So it will be the extension of this session only, right? Till then, do take very good care of yourself and do study it thoroughly.